Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday, although temporarily appearing on Thursday with Gaming with ADHD. Today we are taking a look at the Inner Sphere Command Lance for Battletech from Catalyst Game Labs. Now, I've already gone through all of the Clan Star boxes. I've also done the Comstar Command Level 2, and so this is my first foray into the Inner Sphere collections. And so if you've watched any of my previous unboxing videos, you'll know that I'm a fan of the Technical Readout series of supplements. And the point of this video is I'm going to take a look at, first off, the contents of the box, and then we're going to look at the miniatures while also looking at the art that came out in the Technical Readout and source books and, just variety of sources from Battletech over the last 35 years. So before we get started, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I've got more of these videos coming, and I also have some ideas on other reviews that I'm going to be doing about Battletech once the unboxing videos are done. And so if you do like what you see here, I would appreciate if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. That way you can come along and see what I've got to offer. So also, don't forget, comment down below and let me know which of these mechs are your favorites and why. All right, so the lances, if you are not familiar, come in sets of 4. That's the standard organizational structure for the Inner Sphere. So as you can see, we've got our box of 4 figures, the nice window box, the piece of art that you can see through the back gives it a nice little look. So let's open this up and see what we get. All right, now this is a collection of effectively what we would call unseen mechs. Now, the reason they're called unseen is because the original art typically came from a variety of Japanese anime. In this case, all of these come out of the Macross or Robotech anime, and in fact, all of them except for the Valkyrie were available in the original box set. The original box set had stats for the Marauder, the Archer, and the Stinger, along with many others, again, typically from those early Japanese animes. So, with this box, we've got the Stinger and the Valkyrie. We've also got the Marauder and the Archer. Now, these are all pretty famous, I would say, mechs within Battletech, and so that's one of the reasons I got it. I wanted another Marauder. I've only got the Grey Death Legion Marauder so far, and while I have a few 2 or 3 Archers, I did not have either the Valkyrie or the Stinger. So this one I'm kind of excited about because I'm now actually expanding my collection. Now, as you know, each of the box sets does come with 2 cards for each mech. You're going to get 1 card that is... they're all double-sided, by the way. And let me get this into focus. There we go. All right, but you're going to get 1 card double-sided with pilots. Now, in the upper left, you're going to get the gunnery skill. In the upper right, you're going to get the piloting skill. You get a little bit of a biography about the pilot, and then any special abilities that they have on the mech. So we've got a mercenary Stinger with a Merrick Stinger at the same time. We've got a St. Ives Compact Valkyrie and a Davian Valkyrie, a Mercenary Archer, Cranston Snord. Ooh, I might have to do that one for my paint job. I've been going through and doing for the paint jobs. I've been following either the Legends book that came out during the Clan Invasion Kickstarter, or just researching named pilots. And Cranston Snord, that's kind of a big deal. So I might have to do that one, but I haven't decided. We'll see. So anyways, we've got a mercenary archer and a Merrick archer. And then we've got a House Davian marauder and a House Lao marauder. So the other cards that you get for each mech are these. These are for Alpha Strike. Alpha Strike is the rules light version of Battletech. And so you're going to get a more simplified record sheet. Again, double-sided, so you're going to get a different variant on that particular mech. But we've got our Stinger, the Valkyrie, the Archer, and the Marauder. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get a closer look at the figures. All right, now the first one, I am going to straight up say this is my favorite mech. And partly is because of this piece of art right here. Now, I have mentioned it before, but I got into Battletech because of Robotech. And the Marauder, especially being on the cover of Tech Readout 3025, this is just... this is just one of my favorite figures. This particular piece of art is almost straight out of Robotech itself. Obviously, except for the coloring and the paint job on it, but it looks like that 80s anime. But I absolutely love this figure. This to me. Probably even more than the Warhammer, even though I know that the Warhammer is more the iconic mech for Battletech. This is the one for me. Now, inside the Tech Readout, this was the first piece of art that accompanied the stats. Very much had that mid-80s feel, but again, captured... albeit in a simpler fashion, the art that we saw on the cover. Now, in 3050 upgrade, where they still had most of the stats for the 3025 mechs plus the new clan mechs, this was the image of the Marauder that we got. A bit more action oriented. Still holding true to the original art. In fact, this one I actually think is a really good piece of art. I'm not a big fan of the turret on the back, but I don't care. It's Marauder. Now, at this in the early days, FASA also did a booklet called Camo Specs. Now, they were selling the miniatures and trying to give people ideas on how to paint the units, what the units would look like. And so this is kind of where we got that first taste of, how different units would paint their mechs. If you are not aware, there is a website, Camo Specs Online, that does have paint schemes for all sorts of different units from throughout the Battletech universe. I highly recommend you check it out. It's what I've been using to pick some of my paint schemes. So really extensive. But this was another really early piece of art. Basically taking the same piece of art, but then just coloring it a little differently. This was from the Mech Warrior role-playing game, so you had more of kind of like a technical look to it. Sort of a three-dimensional blueprint, looking at the skeleton here on what would be its right side. Now, because it came out of those early anime, the Marauder also was, unfortunately, one of the original unseen mechs. And this was their first attempt to kind of try and bring art for the mech back in the game while, going a different direction than the original piece of art. It's okay. It's a little clunky. I kind of see what they were trying to do. But it never, unfortunately, Project Phoenix didn't really grab me very well. It's not bad art. I'm not trying to criticize the artist. Just some of the design choices just didn't really stick out to me. But we then had this one in 3085, I believe, is when this piece of art came from. So we're trying to get a little closer to the original art while still making it more custom. And then we finally get this one from Ill Clan, which is what was used to make the miniature. Now, it loses some of its smoothness. The arms are a lot clunkier. The legs, they were a lot more round. Or not, actually, they weren't very round at all. Sorry. But these look a lot fatter, so it's actually the slim bit on the legs kind of gets lost. It's obviously a lot more angular. Instead of the rounded edges on the torso, a bit more of the hard edges, flaring out for the left and right side of the torso. But the thing that I like most about this is how the miniature actually did the gun. Like I said, to me, the skinny barrel AC5 on the Marauder was always my favorite version of the art because it did look more like Robotech. And so I do like this version where they went the miniature where the gun is long, it's coming out past the cockpit. To me, that kind of just captures the iconic look of the Marauder. So I absolutely love the art. I love the miniature. Really, really happy with this one. All right. So our second mech is the Archer, or if we're talking in Robotech terms, the Gladiator. This one, I'll be honest, could go, either direction on it. I recognized it because it did come from Robotech, but it's kind of a simple robot. I know that there's the missile pods on the shoulders, the cockpit's up here in the front, whereas in Robotech it was more up towards the top. But regardless, this is our one of our original pieces of art. Now, they did have some slightly different art in the original Battle Droids box. That's where the Marauder, the Archer, and the Stinger came from. But those are a bit more closer to like the Camo Specs art. So when we get back to one of those, keep that in mind. That would have been the original. This is the first tech readout appearance of the Archer. This is from the MechWarrior role-playing game, so kind of just an action scene, showing the mech undergoing repairs, being able to see internally where all the musculature and the weapon systems go, things like that. So, great piece of art there. We've got our Camo Specs art for the Archer. Again, pretty similar to the original art from 3025 and Battle Droids, but just trying to color it up and make it a bit more dynamic, especially since almost all of the art in the books, most of the art was typically black and white. I know they would do color plates from time to time, but that would be maybe four pages in the book, so not very much of it at all. This is Jamie Wolfe's Archer from the Luthien book. We then have the 3050 version of the Archer. Again, staying very, very, loyal to the original art. Looks very close, a little bit cleaned up. The feet make more sense, but definitely one of the better pieces of art out of 3050. And then we go to one of our first Project Phoenix versions of the Archer. This I don't like very much because it gets very far away from the original design. At this point, it's an upright robot with missiles in its chest. Okay. They have a lot of mechs like that. So this one doesn't really grab me. But we then go to this one for the Ill Clan version of the Archer. And to be honest with you, I think this is probably one of I'd actually say it's one of the most loyal conversions to Catalyst's own art and away from the original anime art. But it definitely, captures the original lines, the original styling, but definitely modernizing it. This one, I've already painted a couple of them and been pretty happy with it so far. So, definitely like this miniature, even if it's not one of my favorite mechs. But there you go. There we have the Archer. All right, now the next two are, so that is our Valkyrie. So these are the versions of, either the Battletech fighters or the Valkyrie fighters, depending on whether you're following Macross or Robotech. So these are the robot versions of the transforming airplanes. In the original 3025 book, they did actually have land air mech versions, so they did have rules for transforming mechs. I have never played with those rules. Everything I understand is that they were super broken, and so most people kind of abandoned them. Regardless, this, it's obviously, different art. It's not coming directly from the anime, but it's still, holding very, very close to it. This is the Camo Specs version, basically taking the same piece of art, again, putting some coloring on it. This is also what you would have seen on the cardboard standees that they provided within the Battletech box set. And then this is the 3050 version of the Valkyrie, and the Project Phoenix version of the Valkyrie. So, again, trying to keep some of the original designs, like the hand weapon instead of the hand itself. The antenna off of the head, like you would have seen on the Battletech. Sorry, that's what they are to me. And keeping the legs a little close as well, but a little different. And this is, which version was this? Tech Readout 3085 version of the Valkyrie. Little different, a little closer to what we see from the Ill Clan version, which we then see here. This one, I'm kind of mixed on it. I mean, I see what they're doing, but it has gotten kind of far away from the original art. I understand why, but something about it just doesn't say this is a Valkyrie to me. Something got lost in the translation, but I don't really blame them for it. It's a 30-ton mech, so it's going to be small. The miniature is small, but overall, it's a good mech representing the art that we've got out of the Ill Clan series. All right, and our final one is the 20-ton Stinger. Let me make sure we can see this one. I probably should have done this for the Valkyrie as well. So this was another version coming off of the transforming mecha from Robotech. It's based off of the VF-1A. Again, that's how it is to me. So basically the grunt version of the mech, just a single laser in the head in Robotech, but obviously this is not the transforming mecha with lasers in its head. But you can see the original art a lot more in in the miniature that we get out of this one. A lot more than we saw out of the Valkyrie. This is the 3050 version. Again, staying pretty close to Macross. You've got the actual gun in its hand, whereas the newer version has it attached to the arm. But again, keeping that transformed plain styling in the art. For Camo Specs, we got a Merrick version of the Stinger. And this was the first Project Phoenix. Not bad. You can still see some of it because you've got, the antenna coming up off the top. But it looks like a upright horse or something. Again, they got pretty far away. I think they probably had to. But yeah, looking back on it now, Project Phoenix, unfortunately, I even have the tech readout, but Project Phoenix unfortunately did not do a whole lot for me. We then had this one from Tech Readout 3085. And then finally, we have our Ill Clan version of the mech. Again, I think this mech really does stick close to the original art. The head looks very similar. Overall, I think the art looks a lot beefier than perhaps it should, but I'm kind of nitpicking at it at this point. Regardless, it's a good mech, nice little 20-ton, speedy little thing running around the battlefield. But there we go. So, with that said, that is the Inner Sphere Command Lance for Battletech from Catalyst Game Labs. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And like I said, comment down below. Let me know, which of these is your favorite. Like I said, it's the Marauder, but these all still bring back those fond memories for me. Other than that, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to the next video. Thanks for watching.